All right, welcome back to the Suits teaching series. And today we have the Suit of Cups, which is being featured. And I have tried to use the exact same suits, or rather decks, as before, so that you guys don't get confused and so that you can see the difference as well, the similar differences between the suits within those 4 decks. Okay, so I'm gonna start the bigger part of the review of the cups talk with the Gilded Tarot, and then I will have a look at the Wild Unknown, the Moonchild, and the Spirit Animal Tarot. So I'm going to take those away just now. And I do love an ace. I mean, an ace is beautiful, and when I think ace, I really do think Moonchild. Hang on, I'm going to try to brighten that up a little bit for you. There we go. So I do think Moonchild. I think Moonchild is the deck that does the aces the most proficiently. She's fabulous. All right, so here we go. Ace, 2, and again, I'm not going to do the chords today. I'm just going to be doing our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and we will keep the suits for another day. So let's have a look. So you can see that the challenges are not just the realms of the swords, because it's quite obvious that, just give me a second, I'm just gonna, so for me it's quite obvious that each suit actually has its challenges. I'm trying to straighten these out. I don't know, it must be that the camera is actually not straight. Is that possible? There we go, that's much better. All right, here we go. So the cups do certainly look like they have challenges of their own. So remember that the aces are always the pure potential in something. And the cups are very often associated with emotions and relationships. But I would say, don't just think emotions and relationships. Think also sight. Think second sight. Think intuition. And I think this is very well rendered in this particular card. You've got phases of the moon. You've got this eye with the vision going to different places. So some of it lands in the cup, some of it lies in the water, lands in the water. And you have that beautiful gilded cup there in the middle, which is great, right? As many of you know from having a look at my reviews, you know that I like my cups changing, and unfortunately in the Gilded Tarot the cups are all the same. They are all these gilded cups in different states. Okay, so I'll make a point of talking about that in a little bit, but just now think a little bit wider with cups with the element of water, which here is represented in this orange form. And that's okay, we can go with that. Water does not have to be blue, okay? So the first is that pure intuitive power, that new impetus for relationships, I would say for seeking as well, and for emotions, the emotional realm. But don't get too stuck, okay? Don't ever get too stuck, because it might be that your cups are going to show you something else. So the Two of Cups, the meeting of minds. But you're going to say, but we're in the water element. We're not in the swords. Yeah, well, it's the meeting of minds. Two people bringing their cups to the party, reading each other. So that brings in a lot of intuition, a lot of perception. And you've got that moon in the background. I think there's a lot of reading intuitively, reading the dark side. So, but there is no strife in this card. This is always a card which is very positive. Whether the person depicted is a single person or whether it's a pair, and most usually it is a pair that's being depicted, but not always. And you will also see it as a bit of a echoing the Lover's card from the Major Arcana. But bear in mind that this is not restricted to just love relationships, okay? This is also friendship. This is also relationship with yourself, relationship to energy, and that intuition, okay? Could be aspects of yourself that you're working with here. It could be that you're not just working with another entity. There is stability. Look at the water, very, very stable water there. And the cups are just standing there very happy. There's nothing throwing them off balance. And there is that beautiful communication happening here, okay? And shedding light into the darkness as well. So food for thought on that one. The Three of Cups, I'll let you have a look, is often seen as party time. But there is an alchemy that operates itself in the Three of Cups. It's not just partying for partying. Although some people will try to tell you that it is. I don't think it's, well, it is partying. It is getting together with friends. And that could be like one level that you want to express the Three of Cups, right? But this is so loaded. There's just so much more than just a party. It is people coming together and operating an alchemy, all right? So whether that is in the healing realms or whether it's going to be in the friendship realm or in the energetic realms, I would say energy definitely has a lot to do with it. This is very flying fast, you know, they all have energy coming out the hands. They're all pouring this. There's this gold liquid pouring out and everything is then coming into the water. So there's, from the meeting of minds and from the ability to see, we then construct something together. When we pull all the energies together, something is being constructed, some alchemy is being achieved, okay? So that could be that you're meeting an old friend for a party, but it could be other things. So the Four of Cups is part of our challenge cards. And you can see that from the alchemy, actually, this guy kind of became blasé. And he's just not got the joy that he had here in the Three. Or the beautiful meeting of minds that was in the Two, okay? So he's kind of blasé. And he can't even see that there's this fourth cup that is coming towards him, filled with offerings, you know, filled with mysterious offering. And he's like, no, sorry, not interested. He's not able to see past his own little, I'm not going to belittle him, but his own, I'm going to say trivial bits of strife, because I don't think this guy is in a lot of pain. He's creating a lot of his pain. And by not looking at the opportunities that are around him. So it's of his own doing, you know, everything is beautiful, everything is working towards helping him, but he's kind of the one that doesn't want to help himself and doesn't want to see, and is kind of in his blasé mode, all right? From blasé mode, we then go into unhappy mode. Okay, so this one, he feels like he's lost something. And he's been through wars in this particular deck, and the sky is very red. You know, things are still looking kind of lush and abundant around him, and he still has a couple of cups that are standing up. So all is definitely not lost, but he's very much struggling to get over the pain of these 3 cups that have tumbled over. He's very much stuck in that pain and in that loss. Okay, so often this is referred to as a loss card, and you can see why. There is definite loss, and he's crying and he's got his hanky. Okay, so it's pretty much self-explanatory. From there, he might choose to turn himself to, sorry for making the camera move there. He might turn himself to, well, what happened in my life? I used to live so happy. So this is the nostalgia card. The 6 of Cups is often the nostalgia cards. Oh, things were so good back then. I was so happy with my friends, and we had so much abundance of everything. Ooh, looky here. I love that cat. And think about it as maybe nurturing your inner child, or drawing strength from your experience. I actually like to draw strength from experience when I'm looking at the 6 of Cups, okay? And not just thinking nostalgia and going back into the past and nurturing the inner child. It could be just drawing on experience and how can I get back to a contented, stable self. The 7 of Cups gives us a lot of choices. Sometimes too many, right? And it's not necessarily going to go well for you. Some of these might be illusory. So when you are at the 7 tells you that you have to pause, take a little break and chill. Okay, when you see a 7, doesn't matter which suit, I don't think, you're going to have to rethink, pause, reassess the situation. Except maybe 7 of Wands, but we'll see. I'm sure that applies to 7 of Wands as well. Okay, and here you're very much faced with all of these choices, all of these different directions. I think in the Rider-Waite-Smith, there's actually like dragon and things that are not so pleasant here. You've got fire and things that you can't properly see. So what are the choices that are going to be suitable for you? And again, you're going to have to use some of that inner sight and this ability to see in the dark to be able to make those choices. When those choices are made, you're going to realize that there's a lot of things that need to be left behind. And so it doesn't matter how much you've amassed, if it is no longer serving you, you have to leave those things which are no longer serving you, rather than turning a blind eye. And you have to travel, even though it's maybe in darkness, even though you can't really see what's happening on the other side of your beliefs. It's time to just move on. And that is the theme, the recurring theme in all the 8 of Cups. Nine of Cups. Whoop, sorry about that. Okay, so this guy has got it all. He's amassed a great deal and he is sharing it with you. So it's abundance gratitude, and often it's seen as the wish card. Okay. So being in that balance of reception, of receiving and giving out gratitude brings in manifestation of your wishes. And that's a very important card. So my apologies, I got rudely interrupted again by my camera battery that died. So yeah, my apologies once again. So we were just about to get into the Ten of Cups. And you can see in the Ten of Cups a certain coming together. You've arrived. You have like a total happiness, contentment. Everything has come together and you can finally just enjoy this coming together of relationships, of just emotions being nice and calm and content. And I keep thinking of one of the cards I've got for the Ten of Cups, which is a family of unicorns by a stream, and is very evocative of this, you know, settled family, but settled in terms of contentment and in terms of energetically settled rather than financially settled, which would be your 10 of coins or pentacles. Okay, so that's definitely something noting. All right, so that was the 10 in the Gilded Tarot, which I will now complete by having a little further look at the other tarots. And the thing is, I don't remember which order I did them in, so I'm just going to do them in whatever order seems fit. And because I am so desperate to get into these with you, into Danielle Noel, Moonchild Tarot, and you're going to see the thematic is extremely similar. And again, I shall not go through the quartz, although the quartz are beautiful in this deck. And you know, look at the back of this deck. Take a second to appreciate and love the back of this deck. It's just so beautiful. I do not know another back of deck that actually matches it. This is most remarkable. Okay, so artistically speaking, we have what I consider to be the most beautiful Ace of Cups I have been given to see, possibly ever. I don't know, that's a pretty big claim, right? So have a look through this. You can probably feel the energy, right? This is all very energetic, and you can almost feel the dramas of relationships building. Maybe not, maybe yes. The 5, the 6 is the 6 is maybe not as inner child driven. The 5 is maybe not as scary. Most of the cups are standing up. Anyway, let's have a little look at it. So, a filled cup, and again, it reminds me that I need to do something on those roses. So you have something from the heart. You also have that rainbow energy coming into the cup or coming out of the cup, whichever way you want to see it. You have the little shakes in the water from the cup kind of rising or being pulled down onto the surface. No, you know, you really are getting this infusion of the root of something coming together, something starting. Reminds me of a song. Anyway, when you get into the 2 of Cups, these are for me almost like singing bowls, right? And again, I find it a very energetic card, but then all of these are. So this deck, you really are getting that synergy going through. And her, instead of sulking in a corner, maybe she's more pondering. And maybe she's a little bit blasé with these 4, but maybe she's opening herself up to what is coming down because she's quite restful. So consider that aspect of the 4 of Cups as well. The 5, I know the moon just gets such a raw deal all the time in tarot, and I think it has to stop, right? It has to stop. The moon is not necessarily the hidden side, the things you can't see. You know, the moon has a side which is pretty well lit and which you can see depending on the phase of the moon. You do see it, and in fact around the moon looks pretty settled. What's not settled is what's hanging around you. So will you go through the portal towards the mystery? For me, it's more mysterious than dark and obscure. Okay, make of it what you will. The 6, she's not a kid, you know, and you've got those pinks and blues, which are very much reminiscent of ages past, I guess. For me, they are anyway. She's looking to ruins. She's looking to something that was, that no longer is. But, you know, she's not distressed. She's pretty happy. You know, she's pretty settled. It's just, she's wondering maybe what was there. Should I drink from that? You know, so keep it open. The choices are quite good here. Some of them are almost hidden. You can't really tell what they are. And I think that's very good. That's how it should be. To, again, you know, have that choice, yes. Ponder, yes. Don't rush into anything, even though you've got rainbows. That's more about appreciation of energy rather than rushing into something. The 8 is pretty cool. Okay, so even though the cups are lined up and they're luminous and they're in the water, there she is. And she's running. You can't really tell if she's running away from the cups. When I read this one, I see the influence of Saturn, okay? And Saturn is making you feel like you are in a bind, like you are at the edge of what is possible, but you are bursting out of your own self-imposed outer layer, okay, or limitations, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So I think she's ready to burst through all of that, but there is this influence, and she is running around. So, you know, what does that evoke for you? Now, this is a pretty good wish card. I'm going to call it a wish card. It's so good. Giving and receiving. Giving and receiving, right? So you've got that exchange, and she's just content and everything is calm. And the cups, again, they can be different in this one. These are shallower and they're more like grails. These are luminous. So, you know, just have a look at them. And here, okay, so bear in mind, try to recall all the things that I was talking about in terms of the moon. And there you have the moon, the 10 cups, the couple, the water, the buoyancy of the water, okay? But it's not threatening in any way. It's not a tsunami or something that's threatening. It's all very harmonious. Things have worked out for these guys, okay? And they can see very clearly with their intuition, with their inner sight, they can see in the dark, okay? All right, let's have a look at the next deck. So you can see how this deck brings you depth compared to just a purer Rider-Waite-Smith clone. Now the wild unknown is a bit of a hit and miss, so let's see. I think it's almost unfair to go from the Moonchild Tarot to the wild unknown, okay? Because the wild unknown is clearly not conveying quite as much. It's not just as bursty in terms of, it's not bursting as much information, okay? All right. So take them in for a second. Very, very different. And the cup is kind of emerging out of a mesh here. So what does that signify to you? There's also like flaming, let me pick it up. There's also like a flaming energy coming out of the cup, raising out of the cup. So pretty chalicey, if you're asking me. Okay, so even though we're not traditionally in the realms of the spiritual, this one's pretty spiritual. The two have been weaved, so you've got this weaving of relationships. You've got the roses coming together, very much the love and the relationships. Then you have the three just coming together and just hanging in there in the energy. I don't see them actively building anything from that energy. I don't see them alchemizing like I was with the other Three of Cups. They're more absorbing, chilling, congregating. But it's a time of absorption, which I guess traditionally is maybe more of a Four of Cups. I don't know. The Four of Cups, what do you make of that one? The Ratty and the Moon. And we've gone from having color on all the other ones to becoming monochrome. Okay, so we are by the moonlight. We are not seeing clearly. We are standing on our abilities or our gifts, and we can't see them because we're standing on them. We don't have any perspective. The sadness that oozes from the Five of Cups is just so sad. I mean, look at this horse. Have you ever seen such a sad horse? And it looks like he's crying as well. So you really are getting the loss in this card, and the cups, the cups are almost becoming transparent. They are disappearing. There is the true sense of loss there. But again, I'm getting more of a almost one-dimensional reading from this. And I know it's not the case, because when I read with this deck, I get more than that usually. All right, the Six of Cups. Cups are dark. And I love that you've got the root system, which is where you're drawing your source, your strength from, in order to stand tall and grow tall. So, you know, the nurturing of your experiences and drawing on the experience is definitely there in order to stabilize you and in order to help you spread further. I was going to say spread your wings, but it's the cups. So, Seven of Cups. So the cups are not filled in this one, but you do have a sun and a moon, and you do have light and you do have dark. So I guess you do have choices. You have plenty of cups to drink from. I think if somebody doesn't know anything about tarot, it'll be maybe a little bit harder to pick up on here. The idea of pause and choose, because things are not as they seem. Things are maybe a little bit upside down. One of the saddest Eight of Cups that I know. The cups have actually been broken. The mountain is dark. But look at the energy. The energy is actually stable. It's helping you. You've got a bit of a ladder here to help you through to the next bit. Okay? And we're finding this ladder as well in 9. So you have more stability. You have come through. And again, we're back to weaved cups. Okay? Or they almost look like baskets, actually. and this one. I quite like that. And you've got, you're drawing on that inner knowledge, that inner vision. And the 10, look at all these exchanges. Everything is good. You can just tell things are good. There's exchange going on. Everybody is coming together and getting on okay. Nothing is broken. The cups are luminous. There's light coming from them. So how do you see this? Energy is being exchanged. For me, it's pretty good. Even though she's decided then to have the darkness around the cups. But I guess that's a personal choice. Okay. And very quickly, I'm going to get through the spirit animals. I realize it's going to be another really long video, so I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to watch it in 2 or 3 different separate blows. All right, so you're really getting the idea of the water here. And the dolphins are very friendly. The Nautilus is coming out of its shell. The friendly dolphins. That this is not the only tarot with the dolphins appear. In the Thoth tarot and all the versions of the coming off the Thoth, you have dolphins on the 2. And it really is that harmonizing of different energies and the coming together of opposites. Sometimes you can have the coming together of opposites in the 2, but it's all harmonious and friendly. These guys are having a swell time. Nice party. Not too energetic. I mean, you know, it's very much what you see is what you get here. The crab. Poor crab getting a raw deal. Being the blasé dude. And the jellyfish. I don't know what happened to those 5 shells. But there's definite loss. Can you see it? I don't necessarily see it because even though the shells are falling, jellyfish itself looks pretty sparkly and upbeat. So I'm not getting a huge amount of loss from this card particularly, even though the background is grey. But then grey can be a transmutation process. The 6 with the manatee. I will not say anything about this. I think they're very cute. Sea lion for the 7. And look, the shells have been filled. And, you know, he's just contemplating his options. Having a look. Not being in any rush. The octopus with the 8. Now, that octopus is going to have to let go, man. He is just going to have to let it go. Okay. The salmon for the 9. And so you will have the hippos. So you do get the idea of the family being content and waddling in the water, waddling in that really lovely energy that emanates from them when they're together and in which they revel, okay, and which gives them strength probably as well. Okay, so that was the last one I was going to cover. So if I had a kid, I do have a kid, I didn't give her this one. I might give her this one yet. But you can see that the Spirit Animal Tarot is a lot simpler in terms of reading the cards. They're very beautiful, the cards. They're very evocative in a way. I love the animals, okay? I love that there's water everywhere. But it's a little bit simplistic. The Wild Unknown for me is also a little bit simplistic, but that's because I am actually matching everything up to the Moonchild, unfortunately, so everybody else gets a raw deal because I think the Moonchild is so good at conveying energies and moods and, you know, people coming together. I just think it's just fabulous. And of course, if you're going to go for a simple deck, please consider going for the gilded, because you are still getting way more than in a standard Rider-Waite. You are getting more of the differences that are contained in the water, and you're getting more in what's contained in the sky as well. They've really been very careful at rendering that. Yeah. So I would, if you're looking for that simpler deck that's just $10, this is the one, the gilded. Yeah, the gilded tarot, which is I think it's is it Los Carabeo? No, it's Ciro Marchetti. Let me show you the box again. I think I've shown it before. That is the box. And I believe you can buy it by itself. I bought it a long time ago with it's Llewellyn, actually. Okay, it's Llewellyn, not Los Carabeo. And I bought it with an Easy Tarot book, but I wouldn't recommend the book. Just get the deck if you're looking for that simple deck. Okay, so those are the cups. Let me know your feelings about the cups. How do you feel about the challenges in the cups? How do you think... There's one aspect of the cups actually that I haven't covered, which is the healing aspect, which is really prevalent in this deck. Yes. So think about intuition, inner vision, and healing, as well as relationships and emotional states. Okay, think about all of that to get a broader picture of cups and weave your story. Have a look at the cups. Have a look at the story that unfolds, okay? And actually the Gilded Tarot is pretty good at unfolding the story. If you want to unfold the story, these guys are maybe not as good, especially the animal one, which is lovely and it has beautiful animals, but it doesn't really evolve a story. And I do love a deck that gives you a story to weave from one card to the next. I think the Prisma Tarot actually has a story that it weaves in between all the cards, and when you put like the cards 1 to 10 together, they make one evolving picture. I might get this one at some point to give you a review of it. Okay, that's all for the cups for today. Thank you very much for sticking with me, and speak to you soon.